What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So let me jump straight into this video. I want to talk about a couple of things, a couple of people. Okay, for starters, we start off with Mark Brealand. You know, Mark Brealand did an interview with Spencer Ferran and Tunde Ajay, and basically he said, in reference to Wilder, some things that we already knew and some things that we heard in the past, that Wilder, for one, he doesn't jump rope, he doesn't hit the speed bag. And pretty much we know before Mark Brealand said Wilder doesn't listen to him. Okay. He also said Wilder would never beat Fury, and that basically, you know, if any cheating went on in that dressing room, that JD's must have been blind, because pretty much, you know, he pretty much, not, you know, Mark doesn't say too much, okay, but he pretty much said, enough, put it that way. Now, not once did he maliciously go after Wilder or say anything, which he could have, okay, in defense for himself, he could have. He said, Wilder's pretty much finished. He said, and so am I. Now, he said that about himself. He said, and so am I. Right? Now, they asked him about, you know, they asked him a lot of questions. Okay, I want to focus on what he said about Wilder and himself. Okay, mostly. First off, and let me say, this is not a let's praise Mark Brealand video. No, it's not what this is about. I don't praise anybody. Mark Brealand, you know, when they asked him about the water spike and how he felt about the allegations, like he said, I don't have to defend myself. He said, my reputation speaks for itself, okay? And I know, like, it doesn't matter, because he could sit here and say, I swear on the life of everybody I love, I didn't do it. The people who don't want to believe him are going to say he's lying regardless, which is the petty shit. In all honesty, what we think, truthfully, is really the least of his worries. Because truthfully, our opinions is just opinions, right? Facts are facts. And the thing is, when people are delusional, it doesn't matter how much a lack of evidence they have. To them, it's enough to connect everything. So if one thing happens to be true, all 155 other accusations is also true. But regardless, I'm not focused on his opinion, right? So even like when he's saying he would never beat Fury, that may not be true. I think they fight again. I think Fury beats him again. I just don't think he's a better fighter. I just don't think he's good enough to beat Fury. He's going to have to knock him out to beat him, first off, and that's the only way. He also said something that we know because Wilder said it, and these are things I spoke about in previous videos, right? Where Wilder says, you know, which to me, it's a theory that may work against bum fighters, okay? Lesser fighters. He said, you know, this thing when he says, you have to be perfect for 12 rounds. I only have to be perfect, you know, for a second. So basically, you know, you can, all 12 rounds, you may survive, but when I catch you, it's over. Pretty much, you know. And he also said he had one good win, and that was against Ortiz. Where Spencer Ferran says, oh, I thought he did good against Brealand. Now, here's the thing, okay? And that's his opinion, okay? I wasn't impressed by the win against Brealand. Okay, Brealand, I never thought much of him as a fighter, first off. All right? And Wilder pretty much was good enough to win the fight. That's what's important. Now, as far as him being impressive in a fight, whoever found that win impressive, hey, that's your opinion. In my opinion, it wasn't. I mean, when they say his footwork, his athleticism, what athleticism? All he did was moonwalk back all night, all four corners of the damn ring, the entire night. And when I watched that, and I'm listening to even like from before that and even after that, just listening to the things that we would hear about his training, and he himself said how he don't jog, he don't jump. I can tell you, he don't jump rope. He has scrawny chicken legs, skinny ass thighs. He's all upper body, and he's tall. So that's where he even have the weight that he has. But you see the disconnect with the fanboys, okay? Is they don't get, when you say shit like, yo, man, but y'all fail to realize, yo, Deontay Wilder has limited experience and look what he's accomplished. No, what you people fail to realize is we are aware of that. And this is exactly why we say what we say about he need to add some skills to that power that he has in that right hand. He doesn't have a devastating left, just a right. Even if he catch you and finish you with the left, it starts with the straight right. Every time. Not the body shots, nothing. You ain't got to worry about uppercuts, none of that shit. Okay? But let me say this. Do you who have kids, okay? Let me put it to you like this. Do you teach your kids to be average? Does your kid come to you and say, "Hey, Pop or Mom, look, I'm having trouble with this science. I'm doing okay in social studies. I'm passing math, language arts, but like with science, I'm having an issue." Do you say to your kid, "Well, I mean, you don't have to be just, man, just go for it, see what happens, no big deal"? Or do you say, "Okay, what are you having a problem with? You want to go to the library? But we want to pull some up on the internet? Okay, whatever. We're going to work on that. Okay, we're gonna find out. Okay, let's see what you're having problems with. We're gonna work on that. It's all practice. It's studying. You'll get it. Stay positive, but we're gonna work on that." Or do you just let him just it's not that big a deal? No, you don't teach your family to be average, right? You don't do, or maybe you yourself. Do you tell yourself it's okay to just sit back and not try to do better in life? So why is it when people say, "Yo, Wilder need to add some skills, he need to start to listen," it's so offensive? One fighter can say to another fighter, "I'm gonna knock you out." Yo, this getting good. Yo, they talking that shit. Somebody say the same thing about Wilder, they're hating. It's all man. So what the fuck is the fighter supposed to say? "Yo, Wilder gonna fuck me up, man. He gonna kick my ass." It's like, people who have those feelings, tune out right now. Because I can't talk to a moron. I can't relay, messages that make sense to a stupid person. I can't. So for all of you that's all in your feelings that sit there balling your face up and want to hit, I don't give a fuck about you hitting the thumbs down and all that. You can hit that motherfucker all night. I don't care about that. Okay, you and your little emotional, little bitch ass emotions. I don't care. I don't cater to that shit. So all of that, tune out. Just tune the fuck out. I want to talk to some intelligent people. So when you're a dumb motherfucker, and it shows, because I can say only a bitch motherfucker will hit the thumbs down. You'll hit it. You know why? Because you a bitch motherfucker. That's why you hit the thumbs down. Because it's like inside, you can't wait to hit. So hit it. And only a bitch motherfucker hit it. It doesn't bother me. I encourage you. If you want to hit the thumbs down. So everybody, right? Get used to it. There's always going to be some little sissy bitches that hits the thumbs down because they can't relate to common sense. So even when I call you a bitch, you know you a bitch. That's why you do it. Because you are. And you all soft. Getting emotional over another man. Okay, let's move on. Deontay Wilder, time is not on his side. This is what people fail to realize. The older you are, nobody. older you get, you can't turn the clock back. People use that term when a guy has a good night. Oh, he turned the clock back. Okay, well, Deontay's 35, 35, 36. I know he's been 34 for like 4 years now. Okay, whatever his age is. Deontay Wilder, without Mark Brealand, okay, with Mark Brealand, he didn't improve as a fighter. And this is what people are failing to realize. He is the one that's, you defending him is not helping him. That's not changing anything. All you doing is being a little bitch, making a comment about, oh, but he with limited skills, look at what he accomplished. Duh. What the hell you think we've been talking about, dummies? And every time y'all bring up Luis Ortiz, a fighter who's accomplished nothing as a heavyweight, and even in the amateurs, I've done videos about it. What did he accomplish in the amateurs other than, oh, because he had a long amateur career? He didn't win shit. You understand what I'm saying? He didn't do anything. He may have been the best fighter that Wilder had fought up into the Fury fight, okay? But realistically, okay, when you have a bunch of yes men around you and people who just say whatever you want to hear, you'll never get better. Why? Because they stroke your ego. And then you are so immature, you don't even have the common sense to think, man, I need to step up. So when he said, back to the basics, he was never a good boxer. So what did he mean? Maybe it's things he used to do that he stopped doing, because I didn't see any improvement. So when him saying that, he said it for a reason. What reason? I don't know, because I didn't see any change. What's going to be difficult, like I said, for Wilder is, for one, he's been fighting one way for so long. And the things that he would need to learn, he would have to really understand, like, he would have to be comfortable. I think people always forget, a fighter has to be comfortable with what you're teaching him. Okay? Like, you see a lot of fighters fight with their hands by their waist because they're so comfortable with slipping shots. You see UFC fighters, you see MMA fighters on their back, and they're telling the guy, stand up, come on, because they're comfortable. I'm good down here, don't worry, come on. And that motherfucker that's not good on his back stands up like, no, you come up here with me. You understand what I'm saying? So you see a lot of things. We saw a video some years ago of Lennox Lewis where he was out there in the parking lot teaching Wilder how to throw a jab. Okay? Does he throw the jab the way Lennox Lewis taught him? No. No, and what did Wilder say? You know, you got yours. I'm just trying to get mine now. And Lennox told him, he said, you'll get it. But do you see him doing the things, throwing the jab the way Lennox showed him? No, you don't. No, you don't. So even when people were saying, oh, George Foreman was going to train him, it was just a rumor. George Foreman, actually it was a lie. George Foreman wasn't training him. George Foreman was reaching out to talk to him. I've talked about this before in several videos, okay? Even when it had nothing to do with Wilder's situation, just talking about George. George Foreman out of his own mouth said he can relate to how Wilder feels because when he lost to Muhammad Ali, he made every excuse in the book. In his mind, everybody, the world was against him, okay? And this is the route that Wilder took. Do you guys think that all this guy, Drew Titan or whatever he called his fucking self, jumping up on videos, you know, where's the gloves at? I know they are. They're in what's his name's living room. Okay, now what? Now that you said that, what? Okay, what is that? What? Everything is about what happened. What is it, 9, 10, 11 months ago? Everything is about what happened back then. Nothing's about going forward. How is Deontay Wilder himself going to go forward? Okay? I had to scratch the video I did earlier. I didn't have to, but I did. Because in the video I said, I won't be surprised if the Charles Martin Wilder fight never happens. Because to be honest with you, I hear no press about it. No promotions. Have you heard any promotions? All you heard was that Charles Martin versus Deontay Wilder. Was it ever true? Because let's be real. You heard no promotions of the fight from anybody. Not from Wilder, not from Charles Martin. Okay? Not from any promotion, nothing. No PBs, nothing. All you heard was that they were fighting. Funny thing is, I come across a video that Charles Martin did last week where they're asking him what he got coming up next. He says he's trying to keep busy. He was 280 pounds. He's down now to about 275. and he just want to keep working, and they're looking to fight like around February 27th. He didn't mention anything about Deontay Wilder as an opponent. Only thing he mentioned about Deontay Wilder is you know, the lady asked him what did he think about, you know, how the situation went down with Wilder and Fury. And he just gave a brief opinion, and that was that. Not even important what he said, you know. But at the end of the day, well, one important thing, well, not that it's important, you know, because it is not going to change anything, and I agree with him. He said he think that his corner did the right thing by stopping that fight. Okay. And he commended him for going out on his shield. But regardless, here's the deal. If this was just a rumor and only a rumor, neither one of them, Charles Martin or Wilder, never spoke up and said, nah, that's not true. So we don't know what the case is. We don't know where Wilder's state of mind is. See, so when Wilder said, tell you the truth, I haven't even been training, just to turn around and say, oh, I've been ready since September. Me and Fury, I've been ready. Me and Fury could have fought in December. Now we hearing Charles Martin. What did he say before that, right? Wilder's words was that he wanted Andy Ruiz. If he couldn't get Andy Ruiz, he wanted Dillian White. And then all of a sudden we get Charles Martin. So now, let's not forget this guy who just won the title the other day, the WBA title, and I'm saying maybe, you know, he just fought Berman Stavern. Forget the guy's name. Maybe Wilder ends up fighting that guy. Who knows? Now, what I've actually heard, and I don't know, and that's why I don't like to make videos about something if I'm not sure, but what I've actually heard was that Wilder, and I don't know if this is true, but what I heard is that he asked for like $30 million. And it's like, bro, not against no damn Charles Martin. Now, I don't know if that's the number, but or even if the story is true, but this is what story that I'm hearing and seeing, that he asked, basically priced himself out. He asked for $30 million. You're not getting $30 million. First off, you just got knocked out. Okay, got TKO'd rather. Okay, not even TKO'd really, because they threw the towel in, but you know, got stopped. The fight was stopped because you was getting beat up badly. Okay, and for you to come back, this is a comeback fight. Okay, a comeback fight. Charles Martin is not a draw. You're not a draw. You need the right dance partner. Nobody has that kind of money to throw around. Now, what's funny is, didn't they say he asked for $30 million in the mediation, you know, in that suit? So you know, if it's true, that's desperate. He's trying to get money. See, turning out at $120 million, yeah, that wasn't a smart move, regardless. But at the end of the day, man, regardless to what and how it happened, he's still not active. He's not fighting. So even for some sparring partner to vouch that, yeah, Champ is in shape. He's in top shape. We just ready to go. Against who? When? You don't train Monday and then all of a sudden you fighting Friday. Like, no, it's a process, man. So like, where has everything been? You understand what I'm saying? But what's been going on? Why you don't hide information like that? If you ready to go, all systems are go. Let's go. Okay. So basically, there's no fight between Wilder and Charles Martin. If he was fighting on Wilder, he would have said, he would have mentioned that. That's my next opponent. Yeah, I'm fighting Deontay Wilder. No, he said he's looking to fight by February 27th. So that's not even a fight that's actually happening. Efe Ajagba, he took shots at him, and you know, they had some photos of Wilder with his African get up on. Now, Efe Ajagba's comments, he's saying that he's a clown. You know, how could someone let this guy, he can't represent Africa. And now, I don't know if he's saying that because Deontay Wilder is actually American born, or is it because he see him as a disgraceful fighter? He called him disgraceful. So, I mean, you know, and Deontay, look, as far as him being proud of his roots. There's nothing wrong with that. So, if FA is on some racist shit, I don't know how he meant that. So, but to me, it was like, okay, so, he's not from Nigeria. Nigeria is not the only place in Africa, not the only city in Africa. Like, so I don't know how he meant that. I don't know. Did he mean it in a racist ass way, or did he mean it in just the fact that he see Wilder as a clown? And like, no, you're not a good representative. I don't know how he meant that. But he made that comment. It's on his Twitter. No, it's his Instagram, whatever. One of them. But anyway, I posted it on my channel. And however he meant that. This is not, and people need to understand, like if I wanted to just tear him down, I would. Now I could. And so what? But I gain nothing out of that. I'm speaking about what I see and what I believe. So, okay, this is not everybody now. Let's just come at Wilder because of. I have no sympathy for him. I have no sympathy for a whole lot of people because they say a lot of shit that it's okay when they speak and say a bunch of rude nonsense, but when someone says something to them, it's different. So I don't know how he meant that. But at the same time, and Wilder himself has made racist ass comments. So I don't know how he meant that. I don't support racist talk. So I'm just saying I don't know how FA meant that. But it's like, okay, whatever. Wilder right now, if he's going to continue to fight, first off, who's his trainer? Because we heard rumors of Malik Scott. Like, who's his trainer? People think you just pick a trainer, go in the gym, train, and you fight. Like, it's a lot, and in here, and here, and in here, that goes on. It has to be right. See, when you don't fight or never fought, you don't understand that feeling. Everything has to connect. I don't know the relationship that Mark and Deontay had. He never really went through speaking about it and detailing anything. And I really don't care about all of that. It's just that as far as the allegations go, people are always going to make up things and say what they want anyway. But that doesn't really matter. Now, back to FA. Personally, I think Wilder knocks him out. FA, he has the power tonight. Now, it's possible he can knock Wilder out. He does have the power. But FA is slow. He's sloppy. He's careless. And I just think between the two, it just comes down to who could avoid the biggest shots. But I think Wilder can get to him. Neither one of them have great defense. But I just think Wilder's quicker. And basically whoever don't make the mistakes, and whoever could avoid just making careless mistakes and getting hit with shots. I just think that if Wilder throws his shots quick, even if he's repetitive with the 1-2, I just think that FA is just too slow. But that doesn't mean FA can't land. Okay, I'm not saying like there's no way possible for him to win, but if they fought, I'd have to go with Wilder. I just think that FA is just he's just too careless, man. And because of the power, I'm pretty sure they'll both be careful and cautious. I don't see either one of them just jumping on the other. And I believe that, like, if you watch FA, he can knock Wilder out if he catch him. Wilder can knock him out. But I'm still not impressed with FA either. So from what I'm seeing, I think Wilder knocks him out. Okay. The one thing Wilder did, because Wilder responded to what Mark said, but it was hypocritical. Because Wilder said it kind of hurt a little bit to hear Mark say those things. And then he said that Mark is finished. He's gonna end up broke. Now Mark said he's finished and I'm finished. That's what he said in his interview. But I'm saying, how could Deontay possibly even let that leave his lips, those words? It hurt a little bit to hear him say that. Like, he was surprised that Mark was, what? You called him a crab in the bucket, right? Crab in the barrel, right? Said that he was an informant. You accused him of spiking your water, and then yet the man is not supposed to defend himself. So clearly this is just like, I can spit in your face and it's okay. But you can't spit in my face. It's not right. Hell no. No, you can't do that to me, but I can do it to you. Because he definitely blamed Mark. Now, I don't know if the stories are true about Mark being in tears outside the dressing room or whatever, but, you know, like I said, I don't like to go by hearsay. And I just listened to what Mark said. Now, do you think I agree with everything that Mark Brealand, all his opinions? I ain't about other fighters and this, that. No. I'm focused on what he said. I don't care what he said about Anthony Joshua and Floyd, and, you know, because actually, you know, Mark Brealand at one point, I remember an interview, it's still on YouTube, where he said Roy Jones was overrated, and he said also Muhammad Ali. They both did a lot of things that they wasn't supposed to do, and they were overrated. They didn't really have skill. But then he praises Ali in this video and says that he learned from Ali and Thomas Hearns. He threw his punches the way they did. But then, you know, now, I don't agree with his opinions about who he think would beat who and who. I don't. Some certain things, yeah. But overall, no. There's a lot of things that Mark Brealand, and it's like his opinion is his opinion. So this is not about a praise. Like I said, I don't praise anybody. It's not a praise Mark Brealand video. But as far as what he said, the involvement in the fight, and him saying, he also said, I never touched the water. He said, you look at the whole fight, you see Who, it wasn't me. And if you remember, I did a video and I put the photo up. You clearly see JD's up on the apron, getting ready to get the bottle ready to give Deontay Wilder water. And Wilder said nobody touched his water except for Brealand. So, see, this was lies, man. This is not, oh, I forgot. Oh, well, I thought. No, you're lying. You're lying. You know who the hell was putting water in your mouth. Okay? Remember the towel, he like he's doing something while maybe whether his mouth was bleeding or whatever, I don't know, because the blood was on the other part of the towel. But the part that was in his mouth, I didn't see to be bloody. And that little, whatever that gauze, whatever that felt. See, everybody was, oh, the story just kept going. But now this time, it was like, okay, now your side is looking suspicious. Then the situation with Deontay switching gloves. So all of this nonsense, right? And it's like, you know, it's time to just go forward. It's been time to go forward a long time ago. But addressing that situation is like, okay, now Mark Brealand has finally spoken. Hopefully this is the nail in the coffin. But of course it's not going to be, because you got channels like LDBC, and you got, you know, people that just show favoritism towards PBC fighters. That's going to continue. And there's not a day go by you don't see a video header of something dealing with Wilder and this whole glove gate and all. I mean, people still, like, when this guy Drew Titan went on barbershop conversations with Mauricio Suleiman and Fred, whatever, you know, again, there was nothing about going forward. Everything they talked about, you know, with this guy initially, just all the gloves and, well, how come this, or were you present? And I really, like I said earlier, I really didn't understand what the fuck his question was about. Like, okay, you ask these questions, he answers the questions, but what was the purpose? It makes you feel good to read the comments, and then you have people that agree with you. Okay, but that's some game-changing questions you asked. You understand what I'm saying? I don't, it was just like, wow. It was so petty, so childish. So now, like I said, hopefully most people just get tired of hearing this shit. Hopefully they just get tired of glove gate, and, oh, we found another. It's like, really, move on. And honestly, Wilder's silence, and then he speaks and he makes a fool out of himself. He doesn't prove anything, but he's trying to get something done his way. It just shows me he's not ready to get in the ring. He's definitely not ready to get back in the ring. He would have done that already. This is a situation right now where if you really break everything down that happened, you still gonna have people believing and not believing, okay? The people who don't believe, like myself, okay, it's because, for one, your evidence is all backwards. You taking something that happened in the first fight, attach it to the second fight. It had nothing to do with the second fight. But regardless to that being a fact, y'all keep saying, well, explain the floppy glove. No, motherfucker, explain why you guys keep switching up the fucking evidence, what y'all consider evidence. How the hell you gonna take That's like me having a green tracksuit on, jogging down the street one night, on a Monday night, and then all of a sudden, I'm jogging down the street again on a Thursday night, right? And yet, they're saying that the bank was robbed by a guy, you know, wearing a green suit, tracksuit, yada, yada, yada. But the night they grabbed me, my tracksuit is all black. And yet you're saying, but no, that night you had that green. No, I had a green tracksuit on Monday night. Friday night, I had a black tracksuit on. You guys said the guy who robbed the bank had a green tracksuit. The camera shows me with the tracksuit on. I keep jogging. I never stop and go in the build. So it couldn't have been me. You understand? But are you going to stick to this? Yeah, but you had the green tracksuit. Yeah, but I never entered the building, and the camera showed that. So every time you guys keep saying, but explain the floppy, it had nothing to fucking do with the second fight. And it's like nobody's trying to overlook evidence. The point is you have no evidence. So if I say, well, explain the egg weight, how come we didn't see it? Which fight was that in? It's supposed to be the second one, right? Which fight was the fucking, you know, all this bullshit is just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the fact that we have heard nothing from Wilder about his next opponent, all we heard was what he wanted to do, or what he claimed he wanted to do. And I said, personally, I don't even think he want to fight anybody. Remember that video? And remember a couple of assholes, no, man, see, he won't fight. He said he won't. Yeah, I know he said. I don't give a fuck what he said, because I'm looking at what he's doing, which is nothing. And if he's caught up in this whole mediation thing, see, things ain't going your way. You understand? Wilder's a human being, it's like everybody else. Okay? Things is not going the way he wanted to. You don't know how aggravated this guy is, how he's taking this thing. If we don't know, but definitely things is not on the up for him. Because let's think about it. First off, if this is true that he's trying to get an enormous amount of money to fight Charles Martin, this dude is delusional. Because nobody cares about him versus Charles Martin, to be honest with you. You got guys like this guy, Coffey, calling out guys saying he's choosing guys on the level of a Gerald Washington, a Charles Martin, a Dominic Brazil. Wilder shouldn't be fighting guys on that level. And at the end of the day, for all these people that's saying shit like, I saw a title of a video, did Mark Brealand go too far? Man, do you not remember the accusations that Wilder made about him? I didn't see y'all say that he go too far. Did Wilder go too far? Mark Brealand was extremely mild. He wasn't even lukewarm with the stuff he was saying. As far as him attacking Wilder, no. And he said, I wish him nothing but the best. But he's finished. And to be honest with you, for everybody that keeps saying Wilder's going to do this, Wilder's going to... listen, when you're building something and things is going according, you start to make announcements about it. You start to talk about it. You make these things known. You don't sit back and keep it to yourself. It's plain and simple. You know, we got Keith Thurman. You know, God been in seclusion forever. Only thing you seen him doing, jumping on videos, just talking about shit, but nothing. Now, rumor has it that Keith Thurman wants to fight Ugas. So when I've been saying in these past videos to you guys, Terrence Crawford needs to speak up. He needs to stop being so quiet. He needs to get on these guys' asses. Who is the example that I used? Do you remember me saying, imagine Keith Thurman all of a sudden been quiet all this time and out the picture now, come back saying, hey, Ugas, I want that fight with you. Remember that? And I said, we ought to be like, man, sit your ass down. You just got beat by Pacquiao. How you come back talk about you want to talk your way into a title shot? We ain't heard nothing from Crawford, right? This is what I'm saying. A lot of people don't get it. When you speak the truth, people think you don't like a guy. First off, I don't have to like anybody, but it's not about that. I like Crawford as a fighter. I like Keith Thurman as a fighter. But the truth is the truth. And the way I see it, you don't just get your ass whooped and then come back into a title shot. Okay? But not only that, though, not only that. If you fight a guy that comes off a loss and he wins, okay, he's back. If you fight a guy that comes off a loss and he loses, oh man, that don't mean nothing. You gonna fight a guy that just came off of a loss. You always hit it, and it's like you guys are so petty, So childish. You don't look at the big picture. You got a lot of people. You can have a beautiful painting on the wall, and these guys are so stuck on looking at one piece of that painting that every time they walk by, they realize, damn, I never saw that before. Wait, that's the same painting? Yeah, yeah. Y'all don't look at the whole thing. Okay? Y'all look at one part of something, and y'all think that one part sums it all up. So for Wilder to stay active and be that's listen, if he's going to continue to fight, that's what he needs to do. Because you're talking about a guy that's 34, 35, whatever he is, he's not active. He got pummeled his last fight. And I don't care what nobody says. To me, when I listen to what Wilder's very emotional, when people are very emotional, they're not too stable mentally. They have little meltdowns and every little thing bothers them. You understand what I'm saying? And he's a very emotional guy. So where he stands, we don't even know right now. Let's just be honest. You think this guy Drew or the other dude always sit there talking for him, you think that because they sit there and speak and talk about where he is mentally and champ is in good spirits and champ this and champ that. And listen, we all wish these people to be in good spirits. Nobody's wishing that they're suffering in life and oh this person I want to no it's no ill will. It's the point that we're looking at what they're doing versus what's being said, and it doesn't add up. Pause. So I did a video the other week, and I asked the question, could this fight between Brealand and I just can't remember the other guy's name. It's not really even important, truthfully. I know you guys know who I'm talking about. He beat Brealand. I asked, could this be, okay, a setup? I don't mean a fixed fight. I mean a setup, like, let's get these two guys to fight. We know Deontay could beat both of them. And then whoever wins, you know what? We'll feed him to Deontay. You know, have Deontay representing the WBA as the regular WBA regular champion. You know, that'll at least get people talking, because people gonna want to see Deontay back in the ring. Now he comes back and let's say he gets the knockout, you know, and everybody goes crazy because Deontay's back. He, you know, starts this guy, especially if it ends early. Okay, but bottom line, a lot of people will be happy to see Deontay back. And people going to start talking again about him fighting whoever, because he hasn't been in the ring since he fought Fury. So regardless to him and Fury not fighting each other, there's other fights that people still are going to want to see Deontay in. So I won't be shocked if we hear that announcement that that's who he's going to wind up fighting. Because those guys are like, yeah, that's like a Charles Martin level. They are a Dominic Brazil level. Brealand and this guy. This is what I'm saying. So you may end up having that. And basically, the fact that it's a title fight, then I'm sure Deontay will probably make more. You know what I mean? Because it's for a title. Still not no big money. Because the guy he's fighting is not, I mean, let's be real. All right? This guy's not even a worthy champion. You know, he took him all night to finally get rid of Brealand. Brealand is done. Stick a fork in him. He's done. Okay? I think too, for all of the people and I say this all like so often, for all of the people, which I don't care about the people getting offended because you speaking the truth, but for all of the people that are so sensitive and so childish, that don't understand that there's always ways to improve something, right? If you guys are happy with where Deontay Wilder is, you think that all he needs is his right hand, like he thinks, then fine. But don't complain and be surprised when he can't beat an Anthony Joshua or can't beat a Dillian White. Now, I'm kind of on the fence with Dillian, because I think they can beat each other. Honestly, I think, and Dillian, because Dillian makes a lot of defensive mistakes, whether he realizes it or not. He does a lot of careless things that, you know, Povetkin made him pay. But I definitely feel like out of the top heavyweights, stylistically, I feel like Dillian is better than Wilder. But he does get careless on defense, and I feel like, you know what, I can see Wilder catching him with that fucking right hand. I really can see Dylan getting killed, but Dylan also has the power to knock Deontay out. Skill for skill, I go with Dylan. But, and I've said this in the past, Dylan does kind of get your attention with that careless defense. He tends to just get careless. And like I said before, he has this little weird thing he does with his legs, man. It's like he has this little wobble he does. Like his bow, I don't know what the fuck be going on with Dylan's body. He does this little shit. He just gets careless. You know, when he got knocked out by Povetkin, he was careless. He went for we saw what happened. He tried to throw that hook, and that uppercut beat that hook. But he does certain things. And remember too, Dylan White also doesn't have an extensive background in amateur. He has a very short amateur career. I think he had like 13 fights or something like that. So, you know, Dylan is still a work in progress as well. But nobody's getting any younger. So, you know, my thing is, because Deontay refuses to learn, and that's why I said it doesn't make a difference if he had Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones, Larry Holmes, Lennox Lewis, you know, George Floyd. Doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. They all could be in his corner training him. If he's not going to listen, it's not going to work. And again, he has to be comfortable. It's easy. It's just like, for example, right? Somebody who dribbled a basketball and shoot with their right hand, right? They'll tell you, practice going to your left. Why? Because you're not always going to be able to go to your right. And when you're one-dimensional, you're going to get shut down and you're going to be ineffective in the game. Okay? How many players do you see that have that skill that they can go from their right to their left? Okay? So you have to practice. When you get comfortable, okay, I can shoot with my left now. Okay, all that stuff makes you a better player. And then you'll see guys play first year, second year, third year, and you'll start to realize and see their stats going up and up and up because they become that complete player. It's no different for Deontay or anybody else. You know, it's no different. So for him to feel like, it's not because he doesn't want to do like a lot of the traditional training. No, it's not. It's not just that. Okay, whatever training you're doing, as long as it's effective and it's helping you to improve, do it. But he, you know, that whole thing about, I just got to be perfect for 1 second. You got to be perfect for 12 rounds. No, first off, that's stupid because you got some guys that will knock your head off. The same exact way you got power in your right hand, you got guys that have power in both hands. So even if they're not, you know, too much more improved as he is as a fighter, which in all honesty, he's the most one-dimensional heavyweight, that's a top heavyweight that's out there. But even with that, they catch him. Like, he knocked out Dominic Brazil. He did what he had to do. So there's no need to say what if, but let's say if he didn't knock him out, right? We know that Dominic Brazil has the power to knock Deontay out. It's just he's slow as fucking molasses. So he may not get the chance to really land that shot. And that was my whole thing. I feel like Deontay was going to knock him out, and quick, and he did. Didn't know how fast it was going to be, but I feel like it was going to be a short night. And it was a short night. And, you know, for people that wanted Wilder to lose, I'm pretty sure they was hoping like hell that he did win. My whole thing is, no, I wanted him to win. I wanted to see him and AJ. But, you know, even though he won the fight, we're still not getting that. At least not right now. So, look, y'all. What happened with him and Mark Brealand, I always feel like you should not air your dirty laundry out in front of people. You know, especially if it's a mutual respect there, then you won't. And when people, well, look, what happened was between us. We, you know, worked some things out. We just decided to go our own way. You know, Lou DiBella, you know, he made a comment about nobody gives a shit. I don't give a shit about him versus Charles Martin. Other people feel the same way. Fanboys, oh man, it's a good fight. And I'm like, wow. All of a sudden now, Charles Martin is a good fight against Wilder. Yeah, he was a bum when he fought AJ. You know, and like somebody asked me, well, who said, motherfucker, go on all these fanboy channels like I do. Okay, do your homework. Do your homework. Go in. I remember these guys calling Charles Martin a bum. I remember them saying, and the thing was, like, so when you hear me say these guys, talking about they sticking up for black people, no, certain people you stick up for. My whole thing is, if they're not PBC fighters, like I've said before, they don't care nothing about them. And even if you are a PBC fighter, but you got beat up by a Brit or somebody that wasn't a black American, is like, oh, fuck him. You're pissed at him now. And the fact that AJ went there and destroyed him, it was like, yeah, they're pissed. So, the hell with Charles Martin. But they called him a bum before he got in the ring. Now, I clearly remember. I remember having conversations. So, none of you can sit here and question me about who said what or what. Like, as if I'm just saying this shit just to be saying. I have nothing to gain by sitting here making lies up, I don't sit here and take the time out of my day or my night to do this, to sit and make up bullshit. So, anyways, what I think, I can't speak for what these guys are thinking, to say what they're going to do or whatever, but in all honesty, I'm just speculating certain things of what possibilities, what may happen. But for Wilder, as far as him having a comeback fight, and I've said it several times, if you were ready set September and you and Fury could have fought in December, I said this last month, it's only now, it was now February, it's like, you don't even, why would you need a warm-up? So the fight, when we heard about him versus Martin, where did this even come from? So, because, like I said, Charles Martin clearly said he's looking for an opponent for the 27th of February. That's this month. That interview that I saw was last week. So that's why I scratched the video that I did, and I said, let me do this over, because there's other information that I didn't have that I have now. And I also said in that video that I won't be surprised if Wilder and Martin don't even fight, simply because I hear no promotions about the fight from either camp, and PBC's not talking about it. So, like, you don't wait to the last minute to promote a fight. You understand? So I just felt like, yeah, that might just be some rumor that we're hearing. Turns out it wasn't true at all. And if there was any, I just believe it was the name. I believe, if anything, Charles Martin's name came up as an opponent because he's one of the easier fights for Wilder. That's how they even see it. Like, that, more than likely Wilder will win. Charles Martin will be one of the easiest. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I believe that they saw that. But I don't believe there was ever any actual negotiations. His people reached out to his people, and I don't believe that ever happened. I believe it was just names that came up because, in all honesty, even like with the Andy Ruiz or Dillian White, if you hear this guy wants this guy, but then all of a sudden you realize this guy has his own agenda, or or this guy's like, yeah, I'm trying to cut weight, I'm trying to get down. Plus, Charles Martin saying he wants to get his weight down. So, I don't believe at all that fight was ever in effect. And this is part of why these boxing channels, they're not reliable. They'll lie. They'll put up certain titles. They try to just get, they clickbait, man. Clickbait. I mean, even for somebody to even put up a title saying, did Mark Brealand go too far? Bro, I mean, what are you trying to make people think Mark Brealand really went in on Wilder? And he really didn't at all. He really didn't at all. And in all honesty, the whole situation is just like, man, look, let this situation move on. Mark Brealand finally spoke. JD still ain't said nothing. Shelly Finkel's never said nothing. And we really don't care. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let's just move on from all this whole nonsense and go forward. Now, whatever either fighter decide to do, I don't really care, because for someone who has a boxing channel, we're going to do boxing news regardless. So with or without you, we'll still continue to report boxing news. But as far as this whole story, it's like, here we are in February of 2021, and you still have all these LDBC guys continuing to sit and make allegations about Glovegate. Who's lying on who? Who's ducking who? Fury don't want to fight. He's running from Wilder. Yo, but the glove, this and this. I found another fucking angle from a camera where you could see, you know, Ricky Hatton doing this. Oh, if you look closely, if you look back there, you could see, look at the face he was making, and you can tell, and this and that, and Glovegate, and like, really? Really? Catch my live tonight, and this and this and this. Yo, like, share, subscribe. Yo, donate to the Patreon. Yo, I got some exclusive content that you only going to hear here, and yada, 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 yada. And this is what these guys do. They're not reliable sources. So I take my time. I hear something. Let me do my homework on this. Let me do some research. And that's why, even like with the photos, something that's put up on Twitter and all that, I don't have to make a video. I can actually post that up in my boxing communities column, and y'all can see what the tweets say and all that. Because what's happening with these people, man, for one, they twist what people say, right? And then they'll turn around and say, oh, this guy never said that. He never said that. Like with the whole costume thing, when the whole world, everybody heard that excuse, but yet, oh, they misconstrued what he said. He never said that. Okay, whatever. Listen, y'all. For us that love boxing, okay, we don't love excuses. We don't. I made the video mentioning George Foreman because of what he said, you know, and it had nothing to do with Wilder losing and making excuses. Initially, it was because somebody made a comment that fighters never made excuses back in the day. I said, no, that's not true. That's not true. Let's not make it like there was a time we had perfect human beings who know that is not true. George Foreman made excuses. But Ali didn't make excuses. When Ali lost, he just lost. I shall return. You know, he's human. I'm pretty sure he had days he didn't feel his best, but you know, he was always, you know, he was, look, Ali was real. You know, he was down to fight. And if he lost, he lost. If he won, he won. But you never heard Ali make excuses. It's just too bad nowadays. It's hard to get champions to fight other champions. People want to pick and choose sides and don't want to be realistic because they like a particular fighter. And all I try to do is bring the truth to the front and look at both fighters. I told y'all plain and simple. I like Errol Spence. I like Terence Crawford. If the two fight, I'm leaning towards Errol Spence. But I'm saying Errol Spence clearly is not trying to fight Terence Crawford. And I don't think it's because he's scared of him. I think it's because of some ego stuff. And I made mentions of that already. So if I'm leaning for Terence Crawford, for Errol Spence to win, but I'm telling you, no, I believe Crawford wants that fight with Errol more than Errol wants that fight. I don't see Errol trying to fight him right now. And I'm saying that. Why can't y'all do the same thing with Wilder when he makes a fuck up or when something goes wrong with him instead of pointing fingers like little hoes? And it's crazy because I've never heard these guys just be honest and say, hey, you know, Wilder, what I think he should have did was this and this. No, I don't like the fact that Wilder did that. No, everything comes out of his mouth, everything that he does, no matter how hypocritical it is. Yeah, man, Champ said it, so it's true. And it doesn't help him. It doesn't even help you. But if you feel some kind of self-glorification, like it's some moral victory because you can look and people agree with you that delusion is facts and lies is truth, then you do what you got to do. But it's like I said, I just bring the boxing news. So it doesn't matter who I want to win. And here's the thing. If Errol Spence fights Crawford and lose, I won't feel anything. I'll be like, yo, Terence Crawford did his thing, man. Props to shout out. I like both of them as fighters. But I always liked Errol Spence as a fighter. I like both of them. But Errol Spence is like, you know, I watched his journey. I watched both of them. And like I said, at that time, Crawford wasn't even in the 147 division. And I was like, yeah, I'm pushing for Spence in that 147 division. And that's that. Now, let's say, for example, if he went up to 154, I don't think they'll fight each other. But let's say he went up to 154 and fought Jamel Charlo. I don't know who that is. It's like 50-50. I like the Charlo brothers, so it'd be like as fighters. It'd be like same thing. But if, like I said, it's not like it's so much. I like him better than Crawford. I just like Errol Spence. His grit, man, his determination. You know, that's that. But if he lose, he lose. I'm not gonna say make excuses for Errol Spence or any fighter. If you lose, you get your ass whooped. I didn't get my ass whooped. You did. What the fuck? I gotta sit and make excuses for you for? Men don't want to be men anymore, man. Stop this little sissy ass getting in your feelings nonsense and being so defensive about a fucking fighter because you act like you got little wet dream fantasies about him. Plain and simple. Anthony Joshua, he fight any heavyweight he fight. I don't care if he's from America. I don't care where he's from. I want Anthony Joshua to win. But if he get his ass whooped, then hey, that's AJ. I didn't know. I ain't got my ass whooped. You did. Fuck, I gotta get mad. Oh man, he beat AJ. Nah, I gotta find an excuse. No. Now, if it was some dirty referee, shady business, or judges, dirty judges or something like that, I'm still gonna make it known, but I'm not gonna lose any sleep about it. People get to the point they like, I love boxing so much, man. Man, I'm not getting emotional over none of these people, man. I hear you guys say shit like, meeting a certain fighter this is the happiest time of my life, the best thing ever happened to me. Oh my God, this is the best day of my... Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me, let's say you meet Anthony Joshua, or you get to spar Anthony Joshua, and this is the best feeling you ever had in your life. Man, you stood there and watched your son or daughter come into this world and held that baby, and you can actually compare that. You even put them in the same category. There's no feeling in the world better than watching my kids be born, than holding my kids, than raising my kids. The most important and most lovable times in my life come from me and my family and the things, how we interact and love we have for each other. Watching AJ, Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones, Roberto Duran, whoever, that is a hobby. It is an interest. I love boxing, but it cannot compare to my family. And it's an insult for somebody to think that me meeting Anthony Joshua or some fighter that can compare to the moments and the love and memories that I have with my family. Now, you guys can do all that dick riding and nut hugging and sit up here and, oh my God, I'm such a fan. That's you guys, not Aries. That shit can't even compare. There's no comparison. There's no comparison. A man and a woman walk down the aisle, look each other in the eye and say, I do. And you want to tell me that's not the happiest day of your life? Or the day, like I said, your child being born. Those type of memories, watching your child win his first karate tournament. Watching your child win his first boxing tournament. Huh? Watching your wife get her degree, walk and get that paper. Go get that certificate. That you yourself, things you accomplished. You mean to tell me meeting somebody because you want to live vicariously through them, or you feel like you're such a loser that you have to look up to these people? See, I'm not into that. This is why you got so many haters that don't understand what a man is, because you guys crawl. You don't walk like men. You crawl on your hands and knees waiting to be petted like a little puppy with your mouth open and your tongue hanging out. And Aries will never be in that position. So I just bring the news, man. I'm no fan of nobody's. I respect and I appreciate. That's about it. But all this bowing down and praising these guys, no. I give credit where it's due, and I give these people their props, and that's about it. But the only people that I will get emotional about and break your goddamn neck for, feel some kind of way about, is my family, the people that I love. Not no goddamn fighter. Not no actor, actress, singer, rapper, none of that bullshit. I'm not a fan. I love boxing, and I respect the fighters. And that's about as far as it goes. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.